Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Court is back in session with your guy, Jonathan Mathis, the sports judge. Thanks for checking out the content. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend. It's Saturday. Zion Williamson's season is over. Now what? What's next for him? This NBA thing just isn't working out for him. Sure you can say it. I'll go ahead and say it. Zion Williamson is officially a bust. Yes, I went there. Can't say enough of how deeply disappointed I am. This young man's career has been so disappointing. Unfortunately, injuries have ruined his career for the past few seasons, and it's really sad to see. The hard reality is injury prone players will only be relevant for a short time. It's looking more and more like it's a short career for him. It's sad, but the truth is, at this point, I think he should really be thinking long and hard about his future in the NBA. Various injuries, the latest, a back contusion, will limit him to 30 games or fewer for the fourth time in his 6 professional seasons. I correctly called this 2 years ago. Clearly, one of the biggest busts in NBA history. True definition of a bust. There's going to be that label attached to him, and no one could argue. Can you imagine what this guy could have been if he stayed healthy? Now, it becomes a story of what if. What if he could have stayed healthy? That's the thing. He barely plays. I don't think he's ever going to have a season where he finishes strong or plays a full season. If you're the Pelicans, how you not look at this and say, man, Zion Williamson on this team is holding us back until he plays an entire season and influences actual winning, he's a bust. For me, once again, he's just not that dude. And the Pelicans should see by now that it can't work. The fact that this guy was supposed to be the next big thing coming out of college blows my mind. The downfall needs to be studied. It's just crazy how things can look one way and then drastically change later. If there's one player who qualifies as a bust, it's Zion. Every time he does play, it's clear to us that he's a superstar. But he's never available. You can't keep classifying him as a generational talent based on potential. This is the one player who continues to let down everybody because he's never around to show off his abilities or what he can be or become. And it's just unfortunate. And look, I'm not one of those people who celebrates the demise of a player. I never doubt a player's ability, but the more and more Zion misses games, the more I start to believe it's just not meant to be. And I really hate to say that because I'm not one to crush people's dreams. He hardly ever plays though. Without a doubt, he's useless. If you never play, you're useless. I was very much in doubt. And as I said, I don't think he'll ever be this elite superstar. I don't see him as a top player ever. We haven't seen enough. There was potential for that, but I'll say this. The consistency, availability, and confidence for it aren't there. In my view of Zion, I don't think he'll ever amount to anything good. The way I make it sound may seem harsh, but that's the truth of reality. When Zion was supposed to be a generational talent, he never developed into this elite star he was billed to be. Maybe if he had stayed healthy, he would be viewed through a different lens. It's more telling now that the Pelicans whiffed on this pick. We have tried with Zion Williamson for more than 5 years now. So he can't expect me or anyone to think he'll ever be good now. At some point in time, you have to say, if you're the Pelicans, Isn't it just better to say he's never going to be healthy enough in a season? Again, it's unfortunate because we know how good he is when he's healthy, but that just might not be the case because he's never available. You know, that's not the case going forward. Keep telling yourself this is what you want to do. A rebuild is completely the best bet moving forward. Zion's contract is not good. You either waive him or take what he can get, what you can get. When he's healthy, he can impact the game at a high level. The nights he's available, Zion Williamson is one of the most exciting players in the NBA. Injuries derailed him. I don't think he'll ever play a full 82 games. His body won't allow him to play every game. Truth about him is we will never be able to fully evaluate him because his body just won't allow him to consistently play at that level. Everybody really had high hopes for him. He proved to be a major dud, and I don't think he can be redeemed anymore. If you traded him, you have to realize that no one is giving up their star players and first round picks for Zion. I think any logical person will say no to a Zion trade. It doesn't make sense to trade for him. Nobody is going to give up their assets, which puts the Pelicans in a difficult predicament. A team is not trading for him, given his history. The only other thing is that the Pelicans keep banking on his conditioning to align with this current roster. Although they altered his contract, you're not getting much for him because his availability is what's going to come to question. I've come to the realization he's never going to be healthy enough to be someone you plan around. So no thanks. And sad to say, but the Pelicans are stuck with Zion. And for a while now, the Pelicans have been stuck in mediocrity thanks to Zion Williamson not being in shape. Picking Zion Williamson number one has been a disaster for the New Orleans Pelicans. And to think they signed him to a max extension. Allegedly, the Pelicans have stressed to Zion that his diet and conditioning need to improve, but obviously he doesn't discipline himself or listen to any damn body. This has been the story for Zion for years now. And for right now, and what I've been saying about Zion is that he doesn't take his career seriously. Never did. And I don't expect that to change at all. All right, everybody. That wraps this up. Thanks again for checking in, tuning in, and supporting the dream. Without you guys, none of this is possible. So I thank you guys for liking the content, watching the content. And before I go, make sure you hit the subscribe button and like and share the video. You guys have a nice night. Be safe out there. If you guys are out, no drinking and driving. Please look out for other people when you're on the road. Be considerate, be responsible, and be very smart and be vigilant. Take care, everyone. Talk to you guys next time. Have a good night.